Hello, my name is Mike Farlow, President of ComTech, and I wanted to thank you first off for being a ComTech client. I made this video because our business has changed a bit. It's evolved, our staff has grown, and the things that we offer has changed. And I wanted to familiarize you with some of the new procedures, some of the new things that we offer, some of the events that we do, and the best ways to contact us. As we keep trying to streamline our processes, you need to be kept aware. So we created this short video series. Each one is only a few minutes in length. So please take a moment, go through each one, and I think you'll get something very valuable out of it. Let's get started with section 1.
Hey, I'm Ethan with ComTech. I am in charge of all the operations here. Thankfully, they put me in charge of this section, which I'm pretty excited about, because this is probably the section that we hear, or the issue we hear with potential clients the most. And I think it's kind of where we shine. That is response time. Response time, our typical response time is within an hour. Recognize, please, that on Monday mornings it may get a little bit crazy. It may be a little bit longer than an hour, but we do our best to keep it within an hour. Now, in saying that, you should have a contact sheet, a support contact sheet. That should cover sales, how you request sales, how you request support, what you do if you have an emergency, and should cover all of those things, as well as give you our holidays so you know when we're off. But how do you normally request support? That's primarily what this video is for, so you can get that great response time that I just mentioned. Well, there's a few different ways. Number one, you can email in. This, I would say, is our preferred method. Not because we don't love talking to you, because we absolutely do, but because when you email in, it goes directly into our support ticketing system, and you'll get an automatic response saying this is your ticket number. We actually recommend all clients, if you email support@comtechnc.com and you don't get a automatic response with a ticket number, we ask you to give us a call. Give us a call. If it's been 10 minutes, you haven't received an email, give us a call, because that means we didn't receive your request and we need to figure out what happened. Your second method, which works just as well, is for you to call. So you can call 570-9409. You choose option 1 for support. If you choose that option, you're going to have 2 options in there. One is going to be wait for a technician, the first available technician, if we have any available at that time that aren't actively working another ticket. And the second thing is to leave a voicemail. Leaving a voicemail, if it's not urgent, drop a voicemail in there. We'll get a ticket created and we'll definitely get back to you. It doesn't change the response time regardless whether it's a phone call or an email. That doesn't matter. We prioritize looking at a number of different things, but it doesn't matter. Use one of those. Now, in saying that, let's say you have an hour response time or roughly thereabouts. Let's say you cannot wait. That is what you're going to look at that support contacts page. You're going to dial that emergency line. There is a charge for it, but dial that line. You will have a technician. We will figure out a way. We'll move some things around and we will get you a technician. Those are your situations where your server's down. Maybe water somehow got in your server room. We've had that happen, where the roof leaks, something like that. That is an emergency. That's not just a simple call support, leave a voicemail, say my server room's leaking. Let's not do that. But emergency, line, email, and call. Those are your 3 options. Now, I want to take you very quickly through a couple points about how to not slow your response time down. So if you do these things that I'm about to say, it will actually slow your response time down and we will not be able to hit that hour response time. Number 1, emailing technicians or calling technicians directly on new issues. If you're actively working on a ticket with a technician and you call them back or you email them, that's cool. But if it's a brand new ticket and you email your favorite tech, I worry that your response time is going to be nowhere near an hour. And the reason for that is because our techs, they stay running all the time. They're constantly out and about. They're on installs. You send an email to your favorite tech. If he or she is on an install, then it may take a day to get a response when I had an entire support team sitting here waiting and could have given you a response time within an hour. So please don't email technicians or call them directly if it is on a brand new issue. If it's on a brand new issue, use email support or call support. The second thing that slows response time down is vague emails into support, such as please help or call me. Again, I have a very hard time prioritizing those emails because if I'm looking at a ticket that says server down, server has water in it because it's leaking, the roof is leaking, and then a third one that says please help, I have no way to know and prioritize that ticket accordingly. So please don't send that. If you can, on the email note, if you can, include what the urgency is to you. If you put printers down and that's all you put, then we see that maybe not as urgent. But if you follow it up with printers down, I'm the accountant and payroll is today and it has to happen by this time, please help. That's very much more descriptive. And I know that is going to go up on the urgency scale. The third and final thing is submitting multiple tickets. If you submit a ticket and then you submit another one and then submit another one about the same thing, or you submit a ticket and then call in and give us the exact same information, it actually slows things down because then we have to compile all the information, and compiling all the information takes time. So in this section, we've covered email, call into support, emergency line, how not to make your response time speedy, which is vague request, emailing multiple times or multiple tickets about the same issue in different manners, and then finally emailing or calling the technicians directly on brand new issues. Hopefully that helps and you get the fastest response time possible.
Communication in our business is extremely important. We're working with you and your staff to resolve tickets, to resolve problems. Many times the technician that's working on the ticket will need additional information to complete the job. Or he or she may just need feedback that the problem was solved or was not solved so they can continue work or close the ticket out. Please do your best to respond as quickly as possible whenever a technician asks you a question. Remember, he or she is holding that ticket open and can't close it until we do get those answers. So it helps him move on to the next ticket much quicker. We can help more clients that way and everyone gets a better experience. Another thing that is very important in terms of communication is letting us know what your plans are. For example, let's say you're moving offices. Well, we definitely need to be involved in that because there may be cabling involved, internet changes, there could be lots of different things. That's a big thing. Let's look at something a little smaller. So let's say you're having a new copier delivered. Well, that is something we get hit with quite frequently, and it becomes an emergency because the copier guy arrives and he needs a lot of information. He needs to know the IP address, needs to set up a mail relay. There's a lot involved with a modern copier. If you just let us know that these things are happening, that a new copier has been scheduled for delivery, we can work with those companies to streamline the process, get everything arranged ahead of time, and it doesn't have to turn into an emergency. One other good example is a new employee. Many times new employees don't just start on the spot, you usually know about it, so let us know as well. If they need network access, if they need a new email account, there's a lot of things that are involved. And once again, if we know about it ahead of time, that employee can be all set up and ready to go the day that they start, instead of it being an emergency and now we have to set them all up at 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. One last thing that I wanted to mention in regard to communication is the emails that we send out to you that are informative. Typically, they will have a blue border around the email for the ones that are purely informative. That is great information to know. It is about events, trainings, things like that that we have going out. For example, video like this is typically sent with a blue border. The red videos are the ones that really need immediate attention. You really need to pay attention to those because they will be virus alerts, they will be phishing attacks, they will be spectrum outages. There are things that are happening right here in this community that are affecting you. So please be on the lookout for those things.
I wanted to take this time to go over what we consider workstation best practices. We're going to go over 3 different things. The first thing is going to be at nighttime, we need you to not shut down your computer. We need you to leave it up and running. A lot of our clients, when we first bring them on board, they're shutting down their machines at night to save power. Nowadays, it doesn't necessarily matter. The manufacturers have gotten really good at making the machines essentially go to sleep at nighttime, so that way the power consumption's not much. So leave them on. The reason why we ask you to leave them on is that is when our maintenance kicks in. So at nighttime, we do the Windows patching, the third-party patching, and the antivirus updates, so those types of things. The second piece is to log off of your machine in the afternoon or whenever you're leaving for the night, for the day. So when I say log off, you're going to click the Start menu, and depending on your version of Windows, you're going to choose Log Off or you're going to choose Sign Out. Now, when you do that right before, please save your documents or whatever you're working on. You're going to want to save those. Quick note on saving things, please don't save things to your desktop, to your local C drive. Make sure you're saving them to the server if you have a server. If you don't, make sure you get with us. If you have questions on that piece, get with us at our support at comtechnc.com, and just ask the techs, am I saving things in the proper place where they are being backed up? We just want to make sure you're not saving things to a local machine that's not getting backed up. So save your items, click log off or sign out. The third and final thing is making sure you have written down what your username is. For a lot of our clients, that's first initial, last name, or even first name. It just depends on what your company policy is. Again, if you have any questions, email support. They can tell you what your username is. I mention that because when we come in at nighttime, it's pretty rare that we have to manually remote in to a machine to fix an antivirus update or something like that, to run something manually, but it does happen. So when that happens, we don't have your username and password, or we don't have your password. We can tell you your username, but I can't tell you your password. We do that for security reasons. We don't want to know your password. That is your data, not ours. So we log in under our own account. It's called ComTech Probe. When that happens, when we log out, it'll stick with the ComTech Probe as the last logged on user. So when you come in the morning, you go to type your password in, it's not going to work because it's trying to log into our account. So in that case, you have to click Switch User. It'll ask you what your username is, hence the reason why I said please write that down, and then your normal password, and then you're good to go. So with those 3 things, being able to leave your machine on at night so we can do our patching. The second thing, logging off, make sure you save your data in the proper place before that. And then the third thing, just write down your username just in case you come in the morning and you see ComTech Probe there.
We're often asked, what types of things might we get billed for? Our premium or our platinum level service agreements are all inclusive, so of course we try to include as much as possible. All the labor to maintain and support your network is included. But sometimes there are things that are outside of that boundary. For example, projects. That's one that comes up quite often. A project to us is anything that is adding or even deleting from your network. A good example would be if you're moving across town, that would be a project. If you're adding a new server to the network, that's a project. If you're deleting some servers from the network, that's also a project because things are changing. It's not monitoring, maintaining, and supporting exactly what is already in place. It's making some broad changes. That also applies to software. For example, if you were going to move everything into Office 365, that's a project. If you're upgrading SQL Server or QuickBooks or any variety of line of business type products that runs your business, then that could definitely be a project. So I just wanted to touch on that for a moment, so if the issue does come up in the future, that we've already addressed it here, and I hope everything is clear.
Hey, this is Ethan with ComTech. Again, I'm in charge of all operations, so I was given this section, which again I'm very passionate about, which is training and events. Something I think that makes us a little bit different. Number one, we have this very nice training facility that our clients can actually use if you want to. Not all of our clients realize that, and not all utilize that. But I recommend, if you need a space that's 25 to 30 people, that's about the max that we want to put in here comfortably, please use it. Reach out to us. Let us know you want to use it for training your staff. It's very, very nice. It has 3 big screens, and we can plug the computer up and make a nice training out of it. But in saying that, we do a good bit of training here in the office for our clients. That's Office 365, cybersecurity, whatever it may be. We're more than happy to do it. And a lot of those events are completely free. And we recommend you try to bring your staff, bring as many people as you can. You do have to register for them. So in saying that, please look to the emails that we send out. We have clients all the time that we go and see, and they say, hey, I really have a receptionist, I have a new employee, I have whatever it may be that really doesn't quite fully know how to use Outlook, fully knows how to use Word, fully know what to look for in Outlook with phishing attempts or security in general. Can we send them over? And absolutely, we'll set up a scheduled training and we'll do a whole training. So we have the live events here, we have the live events in our Greensboro office, as well as do many live events across the state. The other thing, and this is the last piece for trainings, is please be on the lookout for those emails for webinars. We recognize not everyone can get to the live events. We're all slammed, we're all busy. I don't expect everyone to be able to take an hour or 2 out of your day. In saying that, your employees have to eat. They absolutely have to eat. They have to have lunch. So let us do a webinar. A lot of our webinars are recorded. You can watch a recorded one, or we can do it live so your employees can ask questions. Again, Office, cybersecurity, how to use your phone system, whatever it may be. If you have a need, reach out to us. We'll try to accommodate it. But the grand scheme of this whole section is, please don't sit there thinking that you don't have training and that you don't have events that you can come to get the training that you desperately need.
ComTech has a wealth of tools and reports that are available to you. We use them, of course, internally to do our jobs, but we can share those tools with you as well. For example, we have performance monitoring, we have asset monitoring, we have patch monitoring, antivirus monitoring, and reports that go along with all of these things. So if you need to know, for example, here's one that's coming up very shortly, is Office 2010 is being end of life in October of 2020. You may want to know how many of those are still on my network that we need to be worried about doing an upgrade or a replacement. We can run a report to pull that information, makes it much simpler, and you don't have to run around and try to figure all this out yourself. There are many things like that that we have available to you. We also have a lot of different tools available that primarily are used in regard to automation, but we can use them to help make your life easier too. Let's say, for example, you need your server rebooted at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, that's something that we can do. Our tools can automate that process so no one has to actually get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's just one small example. If there's anything that you need done or any kind of information that you need, any kind of reporting, just ask. We're happy to use our resources to assist you the best way that we can. Thank you very much for joining us for these short video segments. I hope you got something out of it, learned a little bit more about how to communicate with us and how to keep the workflow going. Our team is very dedicated. We've got some folks that have been with us over 15 years actually, and all of the things that we covered in these video segments will help deliver an exceptional customer experience for you. That's one of the things that's helped us retain a 99% customer retention rate year after year. And we hope that by sharing this information with you, you can also be with us for many, many years.